Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're diving into a distillery that I've never reviewed on this channel, and I've never owned a bottle of. That's right. It's Old Carter night here on Bourbon Bill. So big shout out to my friend Mike and my friend Kevin, who helped make this review possible for you. So tonight we're doing arguably the best of the Old Carter lineup, the American Whiskey Series. So for those not familiar with Old Carter, they do a bourbon, an American whiskey, and a rye. I've had the pleasure of trying some of the bourbon and American whiskeys before. They have many different batches, different age statements. Some are age stated, some are not. But tonight, it's batch number 9 and batch number 10. Arguably the widest releases of last year, and I believe on the newer scale. There might have been some more limited ones after that, but I think these are the latest batches of the American whiskey that are out there. And the general consensus is the American whiskey is the best of the lineup. Without further ado, batch number 9. Look at that gorgeous bottle. These are the horses you should be chasing. Not that shitty Blanton's. You should be chasing an Old Carter, big old Clydesdale looking horse on here. We get a fancy neck collar that says small batch, never filtered, never cut. Exactly what we like to hear on this channel. Beautiful blue in this bottle here. Straight American whiskey. So this is a blend of light whiskey and bourbon. That's why it's called American whiskey. From Indiana. MGP. MGP for those that are, less astute of what goes on in Indiana. Batch number 9 had a total of 2,892 bottles. Fairly limited. And this sucker comes in. Are you ready for this? 132.8 proof. Compute 66.4% alcohol by volume. All we get on the back, it says, born from the soul of Somerset, selected and blended by Mark and Sherry Carter. Well, thank you, Mark and Sherry. Next up, batch number 10. Not to be forgotten is batch number 10. This one says everything exactly the same. This is again is the American whiskey. Coming in at a little bit lighter, 131.8 proof. Compute 65.9% alcohol by volume. So this is for those that like a lighter, easier sipping option. That's all. Now, there was 2,621 bottles of this, so a little bit more limited here with batch number 10. Other than that, we get the same small batch neck collar, and Mark and Cherry again, hand selected and blended this one just for you. Alright, so this is batch number 9, and listen, they're both exactly the same color. I didn't want to do two clear Glencairns because I get confused at which was which, so trust me when I say they're both the same color and a little bit light. American whiskey, light whiskey, is often, guess what, light in color. So, not as dark as we, typically like to see on our bourbons here, but this is the hotter of the two. Let's give it a quick nosing. Oh, it smells like a grandma's sugar cookie. Oh, tons of cinnamon swirling off of this. I get like a baked sugar cookie with like someone smeared some cinnamon on top. That's what we're getting here. There's a nice little backbone of oak in there. It's not overpoweringly oaky, just a nice layer. Tons of caramel and tons of toffee. Let's give it a sip. Sweet Moses, that's hot. Very delicious. To me, it tastes like a sugar cookie with a cinnamon. And then I get like You know those sugar cookies like your real old grandma used to make with the raisins on top? That's what old people make them.
No.
Old people make those cookies.
So young people do.
No, you happen to be young, but old people make those cookies. Anyway, this tastes just like a sugar cookie that the old people make with the raisins on top. Delicious. There's also a good cinnamon note, good caramels, good toffees. The oak's there, but not the star of this show. Let's take one more. Wow. Man, that's good. It really, I mean, I can't say any more notes about it. That's what it is. Long finish. Does give you quite the Indiana reach around hug. A lot of hugs going on here. Alright. Batch number 10. Let's see if we detect anything different here in the nose. Ooh, little bit different. A little bit different here. This is a almost a burn sugar cookie nose. Oak is more present here. This is sugar cookie and then oak. Kind of misses the cinnamon and like light vanillas that I got off the first one. I think it was vanilla that was on the first one. That's not here on the second. This is a little bit darker. Let's take a sip. Ooh. That is all dark, burn sugar, caramel. Oak is here. Not overpowering. A little bit more than batch number 9. But it is not the star of this show either. Wow. Both these are fantastic. They really are. Take one more of batch number 10 here. Wow. Another deep chest hug here. Good bit of sugar on that as well. Sugar sweetness. They are both hot. Little hint of maybe a stone fruit on that one. But again, that's not the star of the show. It's still that overall sugar cookie. Batch number 9 leans a little more cinnamon, vanilla, raisin maybe. Batch 10 leans a little more oak, burnt sugar caramel, and a hint of stone fruit. Both very good. We have to take into account price. Price on these bad boys, I'm not sure what MSRP is, around $200. So, you know, these are mostly found between $2 and $2.50 on the shelf. If you go to a secondary store, they could be a lot more, $400, $500, $600 a bottle. Is it worth that price? I don't think I've tasted anything quite like that. So tonight, it's going to get a B+ rating from Bourbon Bill, taking into account the price. It is delicious. I think the price should be around $150 to $175, especially for the non-age shaded bottles. I think that'd be a more fair price for it. So, Mark and Sherry Carter, I know you're not watching, but the price is a little steep, especially when you're not age stating these. That being said, it definitely deserves a place on your bar, if that's in your budget, and you prefer those type of flavor profiles. For me tonight, the winner is probably batch 10, because it leans just a tad darker, but batch number 9 might have a few more flavors going on. Now, this wouldn't be Bourbon Bill if we ended it there. What more available bottle that maybe reaches those proof points is out there? None other than Stag Jr. Or more recently, just Stag. This is batch 16. I do not have a batch 18. I do have a batch 17 somewhere, but you might say this is not really more available. Well, they do release more than 3,000 of these a year. Just FYI. So, it's limited, but that's more limited. Proof sometimes can get up there. That's 131 and 132. This is 130.9. So it's swinging right there in the proof points. Now, there's no light whiskey in this one. But oh well. I just don't have anything else with light whiskey in it that would be a good comparison for you at that proof point. You know, the Stag Jr. is a little bit darker because of the lack of light whiskey. Let's give it a nosing. Gosh, this is like cherry cola, bubblegum. God, that thing is really evolved. Batch 16 is a monster. Oak and cherry cola. It's like someone spilled a liter of cherry cola into an oak stump. Then they spit their bubblegum out on top of it. Big League Chew bubblegum to be exact. The pink kind. Alright, let's take a sip. The Sag Junior's fantastic. Almost an over-sweet medicinal cherry compared to the old Carters. It's sweeter. Finish doesn't last as long, believe it or not, even though it's the same proof point there. Sag Junior comes off a little bit thinner and not quite as long lasting, but it's a close enough substitute. It's not the same flavor profile, but if you're sad that you can't find an old Carter, but you were lucky enough to get a Stag Junior, that's alright. You still made out just fine. So there you have it. Not a great comparison tonight. I just don't have anything else with light whiskey in it. Probably an Obtainium would be a good comparison. That's all light whiskey from MGP. But I'm not a fan of those, to be honest. I tried one during the Advent calendar. You can go back and watch the Advent calendar if you haven't. Wasn't the biggest fan of that. But I will say these Old Carter American whiskeys are fantastic. So if you see one for a reasonable price, pick one up. If you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Thanks. Have a good evening, everybody.